Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast. Thanks for being patient. Here is part two of Carmen and I's conversation about season three, episode six, Teenage Love. Left you on a bit of a cliffhanger there, so here's the conversation. But again, something that new that I noticed is Layla already knew.
Which is
Layla noticed before Asher said something.
oh yeah, she at the pool table. Well, at the episode.
I'm not even talking. Yes, at the pool table, but I'm saying like Layla noticed. Asher said right before Asher said like, "You ever wonder what we missed over summer?"
Mm-hmm.
Layla was low key trying to distract Asher from even saying something in the first.
So maybe she didn't want to. Um.
She didn't want to, and then when Asher called attention to it, I think that was her. I don't even think wake up call, but it was just like I can't
Ignore it.
avoid this.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
can
I
ignore
can't
it.
ignore it any
Mm-hmm.
longer.
Uh-huh.
Um, because I actually, she actually, and this is such a small thing, but she like cleared her throat. Like she came out, looked at them, cleared her throat. Obviously she said the deal with the corn to Asher, but like just anything to like sort of try to distract him from like looking over at Spencer and Olivia too. Um, more for her own benefit than it was for Asher's. But then
Yeah.
he noticed something, and then that's when that's I think that as the camera pans back to her because Asher's gone back in the house and she's looking there staring at them. I think, as we know at the ending of this episode, she asked Spencer, what happened in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
I think that she came to that decision to ask him that once she saw Spencer smile after Olivia left. That huge smile on his face.
That and the fact that after he comes in from by the lake reading letters, I talked to Liv, and she's like, "You're in a better mood," and he's like, why shouldn't I be? I have my best friends. He didn't say I have my girl and my best friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you
No, I
notice
know
after
it. And I
that she
think
was sour. Yeah, after that she wasn't.
But that's what I'm saying. Even her saying you're in a better mood was like her looking at his smile once Olivia walked away. And I'm
Mm,
rewatch the scene. There is something that changes in her face once she sees that smile because I think she's just like, I have been trying to be there for this man
yes,
since
and
I've been
trying to
back
get him, and she
and
had
trying to get him to do exactly what he's doing right now. And he's doing it with
exactly
Olivia.
yes. Because right after he talks to Olivia, now he's back focused to having fun when she
Right.
was attempting to do that earlier.
Right.
Hmm.
So it wasn't only it. I don't. I think when I first watched it, I was just like, oh, she saw him pick up the letters and was just like, oh, my advice isn't taken. But I think it went deeper than that, and that's when I realized I was just like, wow, she saw that man smile bigger than he ever has, and
Don't he? Don't he have to be?
so after that, then it was a never have I ever, the mess of never have I ever.
Yes, now we had to go to the never have I ever. Woo!
Yeah, yeah. Quick note, sorry, on the letters before we drop that. Made a tweet that was just like his dad's voice was like reminded me of Kirk Franklin with the voiceover. But after rewatching it, I'm just like this. I forget his name
Not Kurt Franklin.
that plays the dad. I forget his name that plays the dad, but he is just an amazing actor because I feel like you felt all of those stories that he was telling. Like you felt him being there with just his voice being there.
But
At
Kurt
least to me,
Franklin?
I thought he. Yeah, Kirk Franklin. No, I mean
You
Corey.
mean
Corey.
like, do you want a revolution? Kurt Franklin?
You're stuck on the Kirk Franklin comment. He did though. It was like the deep voice I wasn't prepared for. But now that I'm like prepared for it, I'm like,
Oh
that man is a really good actor. Like he really did a good
oh
job because
goodness.
you felt like you were at the family game night and
I'm sorry.
you were
I'm
like, yeah,
stuck.
family game nights. I
You
forgot.
got.
I forgot.
Oh god, that is a funny comparison.
Family
Yes.
game. And so anyway, game night got messy.
Mhm.
Vanessa was doing too much.
Woo, girl. I told you it's like.
Trying to introduce
Oh.
drinking. Spencer was like, "There's not any drinking."
Mhm.
What was it? What was the? I can't remember which line was first, but I think this one was the first one where it says like, "Oh, you had this poster up in your bedroom. Like,
Oh
could
my.
you be a bigger pick
Oh.
me?
Oh
Could you
my
be a bigger pick
gosh.
me?
I was like, no, she didn't. She
Like,
really
how?
just. I want to. I want. I wish. I want to challenge the card. See if that
Like,
really says it on the card. She just wanted to let everybody know how much she knew about Ashley because
literally,
it was just
literally."
like,
It
really?
was too much. It was too much.
And oh, before
Um,
that though, it was, oh, you're talking about the trip to. How could you not
oh
tell me
yeah,
that?
yeah, exactly.
She was on a mission.
By the way, that's how she sounds to me whenever she talks. The Asher I met over summer. Anyway,
Oh
she's
goodness.
just like mumbling noises at this point for me.
Oh
No offense to the
gosh.
actress, but it's just
If
the
her
character.
job, if the assignment was be annoying, she delivered.
She delivered. She
Yes.
delivered. Um, yeah, so she was doing the most. Liv was
Wait,
having none of
because
it.
even with the
Even with the
when
question,
yes when Jay not
which
Jordan made a joke about Asher getting them running naked.
but well, hold up. Even before then, when she brought up, I'm just thinking about this as we're talking. When she brought up like, oh, never have I ever, um, said I love you just to get somebody to sleep with me, whatever, whatever. She said it was a setup in the
Uh
like
huh.
on the show
Yes.
in the scene,
Yes.
but that
Yes.
was really she was really trying to do a setup right there, then and there for Asher,
Yep. Yep.
like to get him in trouble with Liv or something.
Listen, it's like
Because what else? What other setup would there be?
I do not know because her only you're right because her only motive was Asher. That
Her
was her
only
whole
motive was Asher. So
yes.
this girl, I listen.
Where she come from? Take her back.
The end of all that was that Liv put her in her place
Yes, she did. Yes.
after she tried to come
Wait,
for Jordan
we
and
got to we got to
JJ.
snap. We got to give Liv the snap because she took like
Yes.
yes, Liv. Let her know. Don't
Well,
play
because
with you.
after she tried to come for Jordan, Olivia's twin brother, and JJ.
Yes.
So, people that she don't even know like that, talking
Oof.
about, oh, never crapped over all
Right.
of
Oh
my
my.
folks who were supposed to be my friend. I felt like she couldn't even get that line out because she was talking trash.
Like yeah. Like how did they crap? Because they say he do dumb stuff. He do. He do.
Exactly. I know that's not the Asher you met over summer, but that's the Asher that
Exactly.
is living and breathing right in front of you. Um, and yeah, so Liv got her in her place real quick. Talk. Never have I ever gotten to know somebody else's boyfriend a little bit.
Oof.
It gets me
Snap.
every
Get
time.
her. Get her,
Staring her
Liv.
down in awe. She stared her down, and obviously that opened up a can of worms.
Asher was in his feelings about Liv saying that, and I wasn't
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah. Yeah, I wasn't okay with it either. It's just like, sir, you just got upset at her and you sitting here caping for your little side piece that's here. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Um, and and so, but something else that we missed is that we got a little reveal. We got a part of a secret, which is that
The shoes
Olivia was apparently in
in
Vegas.
Vegas. Yes, yes, we did. Yes,
What
and she
you
bought
mean Olivia was
shoes.
in
But
Vegas?
wait. Not only did we get that, apparently Spencer definitely knows she was in Vegas because he tried to quickly change the subject. Did you see how quickly he
Mm,
was like, okay, who's next?
mm,
He changed it so
mhm,
quick that nobody noticed Liv never drank.
mhm. There was a lot of interesting looks going on in that game.
Definitely. Definitely.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And
There were some
Layla didn't
interesting
miss
looks.
it. Layla didn't miss it.
Layla did not miss the looks. Layla did not miss the looks. And Layla, by the way, was not too pleased. Like when JJ was like, "Oh, you're lucky, Layla." Layla was like, "Hmm."
Ooh. Mm-mm. And what was that with Liv look?
Oh, I have
When
no clue about that. I
right, like when Liv went,
honestly, I thought it was. I think it's a fake out.
I don't know. I don't know.
But, but back to Layla for a second. I know Layla was sitting there thinking, like, mm,
Yeah, she
has
don't
this
see.
man said he loved me since I've been back? I'm convinced that's what she was thinking in that moment.
Oh
Convinced.
my
I
goodness.
thought it when I watched it. I still think it to this day. Is she was just like,
When was the last time you said it? Mm,
mm?
mm.
So, so that whole thing ended in a debacle. The game ends after that. Simone and Jordan are on some weird stuff.
Sweetheart,
He's calling her
sweetheart,
a sweetheart.
sweetheart, sweetheart. Like
They're talking
what?
about trust. They're saying, and here's another indicator that we know that, you know, Spencer and Liv, again, we're spending a ton of time together, maybe in Vegas, is Simone's like, maybe Spencer and Olivia were right. Um, so it's just like, what is going
Yes.
on in this whole situation? Like, I just need to know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm ready.
But
I was ready
yeah,
for to find out what the heck is the
we
secret.
were ready to find out.
Yes.
Um, Episode ends.
Me and Layla was ready.
Episode ends. This is a long review. It's like it's
It's
gonna be an
so
hour by this
much
point.
happened in
It
this
was so much happened in this
episode.
episode, but it's a special episode and it's my fave, so we can go it to an hour. Um, so or maybe I'll cut it into two parts. I don't know. I haven't
I'm about to
decided
say
yet.
if you cut anybody out, just go ahead and cut Billy and Laura out. Don't cut out nothing else because the
You said
teenagers.
I said cut it in two parts.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say don't cut the teenagers out. They always
No,
good.
definitely not cutting the teenager out. Um, the episode basically, which is funny because actually now that I'm saying, I was about to be like, the episode ended on an interesting note. But listen, it felt like that should be the end of the episode. Like after Coop came and not Jordan,
Layla
Olivia and
snitch.
Asher. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Like Olivia and Asher had their little breakup after Layla snitched. Like it
Yeah.
just
No,
felt
don't
like,
skip
okay, this
over
is
that.
the
Don't
end.
skip over how Layla
I
always
can't.
turned
I'm
into
not
a
skipping. That's what
snitch.
that's what I'm saying. There was
She's a
so much going
snitch.
on.
She's a snitch. Snitches get
She did
stitches,
snitch.
Layla.
She did snitch. And I'll tell you this again: the little things that I noticed back at that bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
Layla didn't have any smoke in my mind. Layla didn't have any smoke for Olivia until she heard that "Never have I ever" about them shoes.
Oh yes.
Her face
Mm-hmm. Like
was
what?
all the way confused.
In Vegas, $300 shoes.
She
Mm-hmm.
said, "Now, Spencer," which I'm gonna see some of y'all in the comments to talk about this because I can't give the spoilers, but I can give the spoilers in the comments. But her face when I don't know why I'm like being also her face. I don't know why I'm being this was so confused once Simone said what she said.
Yes.
And it was confused in a way that's just like, oh, I know Spencer has been smiling. But what do you mean you were in Vegas,
All
Olivia?
right. Apparently, Lil forgot to tell Simone not to tell because
The ends and the facts.
Simone was like, Girl, don't cheat.
She just kept going. Olivia didn't say a word.
No.
Olivia kept her mouth shut. Like, girl, you might as well just go ahead and take the sip.
Yes, which makes you wonder, like,
It honestly, it made it worse because that just calls even more attention to it. The fact that you're just like
but how do
looking around like
Simone?
your name wasn't just called out.
But now it makes you wonder. Okay, so clearly Simone knows that Liv was in Vegas. So is the only person that don't know is Layla?
I'm telling you, to your point about her snitching, Layla had no smoke for Liv
Until them shoes. Yep.
until them shoes.
Yes.
To before that, and this is just, it is what it is because this is what was in the episode. All of her smoke, all of her annoyance, etc., etc., all to Spencer. You're in a better mood. Oh, are you doing all right? And she's just like, yeah, whatever, just tired. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, she
Yeah.
was that way, and she was still participating. It was good, fun moments there.
Uh-huh.
But all of that, like, energy, uncomfortable energy, like the annoyance, the slight annoyance,
Yeah, you
all
can.
of that was directed at Spencer.
And like you
And then,
said, she definitely was bothered, but she was trying to still be a part of the game. But clearly it
mhm,
bothered her too much because then she checked back out and she wasn't. And that's when he asked her, like, are you okay? And she like,
right.
mm-hmm, uh-huh.
Which, did she check back out again? But she checked back out after she was just like, when is the last time this boy said he loved me? And because to JJ's point of saying you're lucky, Layla, this is really what that was to me. Is she is now thinking inside herself, I have been, like, apart from whatever is going on with him, whatever may be going on with him and Liv, that she may be thinking is, I have been putting effort into this relationship and he's just not responding.
Mm-hmm.
And so, more than just, I think, shock and like realization, I think it's like at this point, it's frustration because, and you have people over here being like, you're lucky, Layla. And she's just like,
Emma?
I'm trying to get him to talk to me.
Exactly. Because like I said earlier, even when go back to the episode where she's watching him and Liv have a talk at the pool table. And she made the statement, you could find more in Liv. So it's like not only is she can't seem to reach him the same way probably when they was dating the first time, it's like, okay, you're closer to her now. You're talking to her now. She's getting to you more than I am.
Well, and let's not even get it twisted because it's almost like this has always been the case because this is not the first time Olivia
No,
has told
but
Layla things
yeah, you're
about
right.
Spencer, about her man,
Well, that was
about her
once. It
man.
was only once other time. It was one only other time, right?
I know, but it's twice too many.
You're right. Okay, you're right. You're right. That's definitely. You're right.
And no, it wasn't only. There were at least two other times, right? All the way back to when they were first like when they first started dating. Layla and Spencer in season 1 with the whole Kia
Okay.
situation.
Okay. So it wasn't
And she
like
was just
I
like, "He
asked
told you
you.
about Kia?"
You right. So
Remember
it
that?
wasn't. You right. Yep. You're
But
right.
I think it's just a built up frustration of like, now you over
Oh,
here smiling at this girl.
yeah. Yes.
And smiling at this girl while people are telling me that I'm so lucky to be in this relationship with you. And I can I this is like that's an outsider's perspective looking in, because that's not our situation right now.
Yes. Yes.
That's how I saw that moment from her perspective. And then that frustration turned into anger when the Vegas secret got let out.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's when we saw the snitch Layla come out. Even though she's snitched for way less before, because
Yes. She's done
obviously
snitch.
she told about Mexico, you know,
What?
on
You talking
what is
about
it
was
like?
to Spencer?
Right, exactly.
Oof.
She let
We
that
got.
slide real quick.
Ooh, yes, she did. She did.
But there was much more venom. The
When she
first
saw
time she was
Asher.
just like, "You can't tell anybody," and this time she was just
Yes.
like, "So let me cross my arm." Simone's never have I ever.
Yes, she wanted to. Wait a minute. Asher pointed out earlier that day they got closest, and now it was her turn to say, "Oh,
But that's what I Carmen, I'm
like
telling
you
you,
missed that."
the dots were connecting, because
Yes.
because again, like I said, I think, and again, this is just my opinion, my perception, but I think she was like trying to distract Asher low key. So she's like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna do that this time."
Yeah, because you know it's easier to tell yourself that, oh nah, I'm tripping. You know, I'm imagining it.
Right.
They always been close, you know, but when somebody else come and point out the same thing you've been trying to ignore, it's you can't really ignore it no more.
It's a whole nother level of
Yeah.
realization. Um, and so that happened. This is all happening. Coop arrives. Coop's upset because people are there, and Spencer's like, "Ho ho 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 ho! I ain't even invite these people. I didn't even invite these people." And first of
For
all, Coop
real.
had to be pushed by Patience. Patience and Olivia were the only people that were like really pushing, and at like Layla a little bit, but like we're really pushing that like he shouldn't be alone
Uh-huh.
at the place where his dad died, and he's going back there for the first time. Patience and Olivia really held down that fort, like go. And so it was Coop's chance to get some things off her chest, and
I guess.
we have we have another intercut with Coop and Spencer and Olivia and Asher, and Olivia and Asher's relationship is coming to an end, as well as Spencer and Coop's friendship.
Oh,
um
Coop. Coop, Coop, Coop.
Here's the thing: the first time I was just like, Coop was all the way wrong. Honestly, when I first saw it, I was just like, it's kind of funny that she's yelling at Spencer, but yeah, she's wrong. But on the rewatch, I'm like, she has some points. Was
She
she
did.
entirely correct? Was she entirely correct? No.
No.
But
But she has
he
some
Spencer
points.
does
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Spencer does have a tendency to play superhero, and she had did tell him multiple times she could take care of it, and he didn't listen. And so I think at the top of the show, right, I mentioned that he sort of let that thought fester so much that he blew up.
Mm-hmm.
This was Coop's reaction after it settling in to that blow up, being like, excuse me, sir, you can't just blow up on me when you literally told me that it wasn't my fault. And not
Mm-hmm.
even just not telling me that it wasn't my fault, but also like all those times you talking about, oh, I told you not to be involved, etc., etc. I told you not to be involved, sir. I
Listen,
didn't tell you to do half the stuff that you did.
she
Um,
she had good points. She did. She had because you know it was true. She did tell Spencer to let her handle this, but at the same time, it was like you knew who he is to you. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, no, I agree.
since season 1, episode 1, he has been saving you. Like this isn't new, but the fact that she didn't feel any responsibility because she said, "I didn't. It's not my fault. It's yours." So okay, you're not even gonna
Yeah,
take 10%. You're
and
not
that
gonna
was
try
where
to
she was
take.
wrong. Was like
Yeah.
putting it all. They were both wrong for putting it all on the other person.
Yes.
And the reality is,
It was both.
it was both about like the leading up to the shoot. Obviously, like we're not victim blaming Spencer for getting shot, but both of them had a hand in the events that led up to that occurrence.
Absolutely.
Um, and so that's happening. But and even for Asher, I was just like, oh, this boy is capping just all around. Don't be coming for my girl.
Oh,
But
girl. I was like, who you think you talking
he
to?
had Asher, and I'm gonna give this to Asher. Asher had 2 points.
What point?
His 2 points were, you know, that she has come to the rescue for him a lot, which is true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the second point was that they've been trying to connect, but neither of them have really come back from the summer.
That's the only one I give him credit to. Yep.
Those are the only two I give him credit for. The fact that this man ended the conversation, which people keep saying that he broke up with her, if anything, it was a mutual
It was a
break.
mutual. It definitely was.
And to be honest, she's the one that said that the baby.
But and this is the thing, I can't. The only reason I can't agree with the well, yeah, she had been saving him, but like you acting like had she not stepped in, you would be like it's no telling where he'd be had she not stepped in to help him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
You
for
probably
sure.
be a
And
drunk dropout because that's where he
that
was
was
heading.
but that's what I'm saying, and that was the ultimate issue that I had with him in that moment was the fact that he was just like, "Oh, maybe we can get back to friends someday," and it's just like, you didn't even deserve
It's
half the
like,
stuff that she did
oh,
to you.
come
So what are
on.
you talking about? Maybe we should,
Mm,
maybe we can get back there. That's ridiculous, sir. That's stupid.
exactly.
Like
Exactly.
she did all that. Like literally, you just went through the list of what she did for you, what she
Hmm.
did for your family. You were asking this girl to come with you with your mom. Like
Yes.
don't even act like you weren't
Yes.
asking her to do
Come on.
half the stuff.
Hmm.
And so the fact that
Just like
he
Coop.
fixed
Just
his
like Coop.
mouth to say,
Just like
but
Coop.
I feel like it was to another level, at least for you. But it was to another level. The fact that he fixed his mouth to say, maybe we can get back there, just it didn't sit right with me.
Yeah, because just like that's what irked me about him and Coop because okay, you want to express yourself and how you feel and you're mad, fine. But to end it like we can't come from back from this, to end it like, oh, have a nice life.
How did Coop end it?
Coop, because he was like, well, where we go for here? And, she pretty much was like, remember, I wish you just would have forgot about me like I told you to. Because,
Right.
she pretty much ended like, we ain't friends. That's it. It's over. Like, really?
Mm. But I think I guess I looked at it in a slightly different way, like ever so slightly, because she was just like maybe we both. She also said like maybe we both wouldn't have this pain in our chest. So she acknowledged the uh hurt
Uh huh.
that both of them had. And again, I don't think that she was. I think that she was wrong to put it on him squarely. Um, but I think to be honest, I feel like the Spencer Coop thing was more tit for tat. And at the end of the day, you know that Spencer and Coop are going to be fine regardless. I mean,
I hope
however,
not.
well, I'm not. Well, I'm just
Well,
like,
let me say,
we'll
this was
see
my
how long this
thoughts.
fight lasts.
This was my
But
thoughts watching six.
you were
Good.
like, I hope
Just
they don't
push
come
her in
back
the
from
lake.
this.
I hope she followed the
Ooh,
lake on the way out. And because it was like he was wrong, you was wrong, y'all both had it. But to end it like he slept with patience was just too much for me. Like she like
sure enough. That's how I felt about Asher. I think I just had more smoke.
both
I was just
of them.
like, I can't. I understand, but I'm just like, I can only have like so much smoke. My smoke has been used up. This has been a long episode. I'm
See
like,
what
push Asher in the lake, push Vanessa
listen,
in the
see
lake.
with Asher, I have been waiting for him to live to end since the beginning. So it
Oh,
was
we were
like,
rejoicing. We
yes.
were
So that
like,
moment was like,
yes,
yes, that moment was like, okay, dude, you lost your mind, but whatever, it's
finally.
over.
Yeah.
But I didn't see an ending coming with Coop and Spencer because
Since they're, yeah.
that's why she made me more madder than Asher because it was like Are you serious?
Right. Right.
Oh,
Um
fix it, Jesus. Go ahead. I'm
and
getting mad all
so
over again.
you are. And so that, and again, it was just, it felt like such a long episode because I was just like, oh yeah, that's the ending of the episode. JK. Because then we go back and we see, people packing out. It looks like everybody has left. And number one, we hope that uh Olivia had already been dropped off and Jordan was just taking Simone home in that car, because I know Olivia did not ride back in that. They only took
Right?
three cars,
Right? You're so
including
right.
Spencer's. Which, where did Spencer get that car? Where could he afford it?
Was
He
that
is.
Grace car?
It was not Grace's. That's not what
How?
Grace's car looks
Listen,
like.
I was like, do Grace have two cars? Because
I'm very confused, and it wasn't his dad's car because that's not what his dad's car looked like either.
I don't
Unless he
know.
traded that bad boy in, but I'm very
Maybe.
confused
I've
because
been wondering how Spencer
he was
getting
taking the bus
around.
at the beginning of the season. We know he
You're
likes to take the
so
bus, but it's
right.
just like
You're so
we
right.
haven't heard anything about Spencer getting a car. Anyway, that was an aside. But we
Maybe it was a rental.
I it would be very awkward if it was Olivia, Asher, JJ, Vanessa in that car.
Well, that's what it had to be because we saw,
But I'm saying maybe Jordan dropped Olivia off home and then was taking Simone back to her place.
hopefully.
Because to be fair, we don't know like when everybody like dipped. Um, and we also know that it would have been awkward because JJ was like, "You and Vanessa." Which, how did he even know that Vanessa was in Mexico? Because all Layla said was that she surprised her boyfriend. I'm like,
Listen.
that in no way indicates that Vanessa was there.
Yes, right. I was trying like, okay, how, yeah, come on now. JJ ain't. Don't get me wrong. I love JJ, but he ain't the brightest screen the box. So like,
Exactly.
he
So
just put that
I'm very
together.
confused. Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like there was supposed to be another line somewhere that just got cut or something because I was just like, okay. Anyway,
Oh god, he looked so hurt though. He looked so hurt.
he did. He did. Um, last thing. So it's Layla and Spencer.
Yes.
But okay, before we get to that, Spencer and sorry, Jordan and Simone were being cute for the first time ever. I feel like it's just been sort of a back and forth. Even in this episode, it was just like a back and forth of, oh, you don't know this about me. Oh, do we trust each other? Oh, X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Jordan is ridiculous for taking the anti or cheating the concussion protocol. And
Yeah.
so it was good to have them have that little moment together in the car.
Mhm.
And I think, and their fingers were interlocked. So,
Oh god, you and the fingers. You been petty because lips. Oh
and
goodness.
so that was the ending of that. They had a
Yes,
cute little moment where,
they
and I think
did.
this is the first time we've heard them say "I love you" on the screen
I don't know. I know it's definitely
to
the
each
first time.
other.
I know it's definitely the first time we heard "sweetheart, sweetheart,
Yeah. Well,
sweetheart."
actually, I think they said it in once in four or something
Really?
like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I just went back and rewatched, but yeah, because the last time I remember it was, but Spencer said the word love earlier on in the season. It maybe Jordan said love with his grandfather, but I think this is the first time we're hearing them say "I love you" to each other.
I can't remember.
Um, because the last time we saw them, it was "I like you, Simone," and so they're in love apparently. Um, and it was a cute moment. It was a cute moment. All that being said, the biggest thing was Layla saying, I guess everyone knows where they stand now, after Layla asked him about Coop. And she said, hmm,
Hmm. Is
I
that
guess
right?
everyone knows where they stand.
Yeah.
I'll be in the car.
Whoop.
You just felt the end coming. You
Yes, you
like,
did. You felt the, and then he read the letter, and you just knew the end was
and
coming.
why did this man read the letter while she was waiting in the car?
It was his last letter. He wanted to read it before he left the cabin.
Okay, he was doing too much for me because You're
Oh
having this girl sit
gosh.
in the car while you sit there reading a letter like it's dark outside.
Well, she chose to go sit in the car. He wanted to read his letter. I'm just joking. Yeah, it definitely was like, you didn't want to
He
read
did
that
not have to have
later?
her. Exactly. He could have read that at home. He could have savored that last letter. But regardless, it was talking about, being honest about your feelings,
Yes.
about the ones that you love, etc., etc., etc.
Great
And
advice,
and not
Corey. Great advice.
exactly. And not sparing people's feelings in the short term so that you can spare their feelings in the long term. These are my
Yes.
words.
That's pretty
Um,
much what it was. Don't do things
yeah,
just to spur their feelings. Yeah, pretty much.
right. Because in the end, it's going to be better for them. We get this scene of them driving together in the car. He looks very both of them look very contemplative,
Uh huh.
and we end on the note where she's just like,
Whew.
"I'm gonna ask you this once."
Come on.
She came with the fire.
She
I'm
was
gonna ask you
she
this
was tired.
once.
She had been sitting
And she
and
was
observing all day.
exhausted, bro.
Yeah,
She
she
was
had been sitting
exhausted.
and observing all day. She was sick of it. She was like, "Look at here."
And really, and again, it wasn't even just all day at that point. It was like she had been sitting in a dirt for the past like couple weeks.
Yeah, but she had to shook it off. She had to shook it off. You know,
Um,
she had to shook it
and
off.
I'm gonna. I hope that you would respect me enough not to lie about it. Um, what happened this summer in Vegas,
We
and that is
wants to
where we
know.
end.
We all want to
That is
know
where we end.
what
We
happened in
all want to
Vegas.
know.
Yes.
This and I don't feel like there's much more for
But
us to
wait, the
add
way
after
he
that.
closed the door, it seemed like he before she asked him, it seemed like he was either finna end it between.
It did seem like he was
Yeah.
gonna break up with her, but they were gonna break it off with each other. Like I was one of those people, and I've seen a ton of people say that. Oh, she didn't read the room, etc., etc., etc. And I'm like, we just pay more attention to Spencer, which rightfully so. He's the main character, but if you go back and watch, she's been reading the room,
Uh
and
huh.
like I said, on upon my rewatch, she was done that moment that she saw him smile. So it's not even about her reading the room. I think she was just what we said. She was fed up. So it wasn't even
Yeah.
about the breakup was inevitable, whether someone who, regardless of who did it, but
Uh
she
huh.
wanted to know
What was up?
what went down.
Uh huh. Yeah, because it's like, okay, clearly Olivia lied to me about going to Vegas, and
Right,
clearly you know something about it. So I need answers.
right, right. And that's where we left off. And again, I don't even feel like we can say much more than that, because next episode we gonna find out the answers.
Yes, yes, yes. Vegas, baby. In my Liv voice, it's no, it wasn't Liv.
Mm,
Well, it was Liv. Okay,
it was Liv.
yes,
Yep. All right. So thanks for listening to Film Study and All American Podcast. It's been a fun one, and see you next time. Thanks for listening to Film Study and All American Podcast. This this conversation was just hilarious, and yeah. I You all already know my thoughts on the episode, and I have more thoughts. But yeah, hope you enjoyed listening to these, and stay tuned for the next episode. And by the way, yeah, I'm just so grateful for all of your support and love and comments, and I read them. I read them all the time, so really appreciate all your support.